And at 36, a lot of people might say, you know, Leanne, maybe it's time to hang it up and go on to other things. Good luck telling her to stop. Good luck.
Leanne Smith is unstoppable.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked about gymnastics. Leanne Smith actually was a gymnast. She has developed this neurologic condition, dystonia, which has affected her in many different ways. You can see her here swimming the backstroke just using her right arm. Her coach was telling me that the mobility and strength in her right arm is a little bit better than her left. So for her, this is a technique both to propel her quickly and also save that left arm because she's going to need it in breaststroke and freestyle later in this race.
She will go down, back, and down, so it's a shorter race than what we normally see in the individual medley. It's just 150 for her, and she is making good progress here. Had a good swim this morning watching her in prelims, and she looked strong. I mean, she always does.
Yeah, she dropped 24 seconds off of her previous time in prelims this morning, so she is really having a great meet here.
How hard is it for her, though? And I know she does a lot of training solo and all that, but being able to do this race by herself, knowing that if she gets to Paris, she's not going to be by herself.
Yeah, it's really tricky, and especially in Paris, swimming up a class means you're swimming against athletes who have a less severe disability than you. So the time spread between those athletes can be quite big. We're seeing her here. She's touching the wall with her hands, not necessarily pushing off with her feet. Doesn't quite have enough strength to do that. But again, that's allowed within the Paralympic regulations.
You talk about her coming in with a seed time, a 3:31.24, and we talk about the standard, making the standard. Explain that for the folks that are watching and why we can't say, okay, Leanne Smith is on Team USA right now.
Yeah, so in order to swim in Paris, any athlete from any country has to have the minimum standard to be eligible to swim. And then each country has their own selection procedure. So the U.S. selection procedure is primarily based on how your time places you in the world ranking. But again, a selection committee will determine that ultimate team later tonight.
We talk about the process of making Team USA. It may be a little bit convoluted, but the bottom line is they can only take so many people. There's 88 athletes, as we've talked about, that are here, but there's only 33 spots, and the women's team probably a little stronger than the men's team. So those coveted spots, 1 or 2 or 3, they are like gold.
It is stronger, and the way that those numbers are selected is based on how the team has performed over the past several years. So at prior meets, you know, it really matters. Swimming fast at World Championships matters for potentially earning your country a spot on the team for Paris.
So she's on to the final 50 meters, and there you see now the use of that right arm comes in, so we'll see how much she was able to save on that initial 50 back.
Yeah, her body position here is just amazing without having a strong kick to propel her. See how her hips and her feet are right at the surface of the water? I mean, that is incredibly difficult to do with the amount of strength that she has.
She is pulling home here. She's almost halfway through this final 50. Remember, it's a 150 IM for 36-year-old Leanne Smith out of Beverly, Mass.
And she is the American record holder and world record holder in this class. Those times are 2:49, so we're not going to see her approach that today, but if she can even get close to the time she did this morning, she's going to be very pleased with this swim. All of Minnesota cheering here on Leanne Smith.
On their feet, and she comes into the final few meters, and she will stop the clock at a 3:24.52. So a nice improvement for her, as we talked about. That's become 3:31.24, a personal best.